All right. So a lot of times here in the payments world, but just in the world in general, we hear all the bad news, the news of things that go wrong. You open up the CNN app and you're like, oh my word, how terrible is the world going on? And you're like, let's just close that off. And then we, just sometimes need some good news. And well, we thought, let's go to the source of our good news, the people who are working daily with our partners. And so here today on Office Hours, we're telling some partner success stories. And let me bring up first up on the screen from Colorado, Glenwood Springs, Colorado, to be exact, sitting in the mighty mountains of the Rockies. That was kind of a weird way to say it, is Jenny Rickle. Jenny, how are you? How is the world in Colorado? And I hear you're doing something special this weekend.
Yes, things in Colorado are fantastic. It's been a busy week. We have been rocking and rolling here at PayProTec. And then this weekend, I am headed off to Brooklyn to run a half marathon. So, traveling across the states and going to run 13 miles in the beautiful city of Brooklyn. So, I'm super excited about that too.
There we go. So, for those who don't know, this is a short race for Jenny. 13 miles. I'm surprised she's getting out of bed to do that much. Usually it takes 100 miles to get her go on a race. And Jenny, I'll ask one question on the when you're running these races, do you if one of our partners would show up? Because I know we have several people that have Brooklyn and Queens addresses. If they would show up and yell, do you notice people like cheering for you? And when you're running in these, because a lot of times you run these 100-mile races where there aren't as many people. There'll be more people on the streets, I'm assuming. Do you notice the people on the sidelines?
Yeah. So the races that I'm usually going to, they're in the mountains and there's like 100 or 200 participants. There's 25,000 runners in this race. And so if anybody calls my name, I will absolutely stop and look and talk to you. It's kind of one of my husband always says that I make too many friends when I go on runs and that I need to run a little bit faster and stop talking to people, but I don't mind. So if I see somebody, I will absolutely say hey and say what's up.
I love that. All right, next up, our regular of office hours from Warsaw, Indiana. The if you don't hear I can't tell if it is, but I realized I put this Alexa back here, and it's now telling me back here that there's someone at my front door, which I think I have a delivery, but we won't worry about that. Also from his home office in Warsaw, Indiana, Mr. Mike Stetzel. Mike, I know you're not running a marathon this weekend,
No.
but hey, I think hopefully you have good weather. It's good weather here,
Yeah,
2 hours south of you. Hopefully you
78
have some good weather
today.
and the rain is gone today.
Also, the team behind us on the wall playing well. We don't want to
There,
get too deep into that and jinx it, but whoa,
there you go. Cubs getting 8 wins straight, and we're fighting for that first place. Those pesty Reds up there.
I'm
Still early
telling
in the
you,
season.
it's a heck of a division so far.
Yeah.
2.5 games separating everybody.
And I don't know. I just realized in this screen, I didn't go through and change. You're going to see active change of screens here because I did. There we go, Jenny. Okay, see, I got all fancy and I put all these screens, but I forgot I had to go through each screen and change all of them. So now in this screen, I know because we tested this one ahead of time. From Warsaw, Indiana, in the home headquarters of PayProTec, and sitting in a building that in the 1920s, I think, belonged to a railroad mogul, and in the 1980s belonged to a funeral home, and now is the home of PayProTec, Mrs. Jenn Sales. Jenn, how are you? And welcome to Office Hours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Doing well. Thank you.
Yeah. So, you and I used to work in that same office. Now I'm living down here in Indy. How often do you think when you walk in, this used to be a funeral home?
Every day.
Doesn't end, does it?
She would.
Yeah,
She,
those of
I
us who,
actually
yeah.
come, I'll tell you guys this. I come in here and I clean on the weekends. So on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm also the cleaner. And I always come in and I go, all right, listen, you stay where you are. I'm going to stay where I am, and let's not have any meetings today.
Oh, I love it.
It's a
Yeah.
fun little joke that I have when I walk in here. Like, okay, let's just do our things.
Yeah, there are definitely some stories of some moments in that building, and but it's a fun building. If you ever get to stop in Warsaw and see people
I was
there,
going to
it is a
say,
fun
we'll
place.
tour you. We'll
Yeah,
show you the big room in the basement with the
We
huge floor
will.
drain. This is not a joke.
We will.
Mhm. Have you
Goes
ever
down
like
like
encountered
this.
like a spooky ghost, you guys, in that office, or like lights
I
flickering or
haven't.
anything like that? No.
I'm
I
not a
have not.
believer.
So, but I
No, it's just
definitely
a joke about
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's a it certainly plays into that the allure of or lure of PayProTec being there and having been there for a long time. And those of us who grew up in Warsaw, I mean, I totally remember going to funerals there. And
Do you
as a
really?
little kid, I was at least 2 funerals I remember being there when I was in
Wow.
elementary school.
Oh
So,
wow.
and like in fact, that's my first memories of going to funerals were from that building.
Ah,
And
man.
so yeah. Oh, okay. Enough about
Yes.
PayProTech's haunted house of our offices. It's not
Let's
that
not talk
scary,
about
but
them.
yeah. But let's talk about success stories with our partners. You guys talk. I mean, some week we should do it. But we see your call logs between the 3 of you. You're talking to hundreds of partners every week. Some of them multiple times a day. Sometimes, you're solving problems. And I said to you guys, why don't you just bring a couple of those when you got a phone call, some of those success stories. And I'm excited to hear what he says. I told you we're going to go round robin. And so I'm going to put I'm just going to let you choose who wants to go first. Then we're going to go clockwise around between the 3 of you. I told you each bring 2 stories. And I may, depending on time, I have a couple stories that I may tell here. Who wants to go first? Jen as the special
Do it
guest coming back.
backwards.
All right.
Jen's going first. Okay.
All right. Jen Sales, are you ready? Mike's
Yes.
figured out his right and left to be able to point. So there we go.
I don't
The
want to
reverse.
cry.
Go backwards.
No, it's so weird on the camera. You got to figure it out. But all right, Jen, what tell us some of one of the stories that came to your mind.
So I had a agent recently who just started using PayProTec. They're brand new and a little, like unsure about how it's going to work with us. And of course, he puts in his first deal, and he's been with this merchant for a long time, and we have a little bit of an underwriting thing going on. So trying to just comfort him and just say, hey, come on, just get me the few things you need while I work on the back end, and just letting him know that I am on his side, and we can get this resolved. And we did. And the merchant was approved, is processing large amounts, and he is just very happy and said that was, of course, a little hard at first, but uh, it worked out. We worked it together, and just it worked. And so just letting you know that I'm here and our team is here to always help you get across that finish line. That's what we do. That's why we're here. And this agent is very happy and just ready to submit more deals to us.
It's so much fun when we get that first deal or that first, especially for newer partners that don't, when they get that first residual check or the first bonus. But for all 3 of you, a lot of times that first deal, if you're new to this industry, there may be a lot of times, it seems like to me from hearing your guys' stories and hearing our partners, a lot of times they choose some of the more difficult, not the easy merchants to get through. And so they have to go through more hoops. And one of the things that sets PayProTec apart is we're going to walk you through trying to figure out how to make sure you get all the paperwork. If underwriting is going to ask some questions. But how much fun is that, guys, just to watch that first deal get approved? I love that story, Jen, and watching new partners get those first deals sometimes it's a hand holding, even if they have experience at other partners, it's hand holding them through our process and making sure they get that first deal up and running.
Yep.
I love
Absolutely.
it. All right. So I said, we're going to go clockwise. That means you get to skip. I get to skip me because I get to host. Jenny, coming around your way. What is a story you can think of how you've been able to help a partner see some of their success?
So I think that one thing that we really shine on is our support here at PayProTec. I had a partner who had a merchant, and they were using a program. It was a surcharge program, right? And so they had a card where it was first surcharged, and then like 2 weeks later, it was the same customer. It wasn't surcharged. And so it took a minute, like, why, what is going on? Is it the terminal? It was like a puzzle, like, what's going on? We finally were able to reach out to the team, and they let us know that the bin range had been updated. So for those of you who don't know the bank identification number, these are the digits that we use on a card to determine what kind of card it is. Is it a reward card? Is it a check card? Is it a standard credit card? And through that process, we learned that the bin range had been updated. So it was nothing on our end. It wasn't our terminal. Everything was set up correctly, which is why it was boggling us so much, because we could see everything was right on our side. But We kept on researching, we kept on digging. We knew that something wasn't quite right, and we were able to find the solution. And so it turned out that the bin range had been updated, so it treated the card a little differently based upon that number. And just the support that most of the time, if you, I mean, all of us have called into a call queue multiple times, and it can be a frustrating experience. But we were able to work directly with the partner, really try to dig into it, and within a few days, we were finally able to find the solution and determine what had happened. So I thought that was pretty cool that we were able to say, "Oh, we found it, and it's not us, and this is how it's supposed to be," and moving on with the day. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And how often these systems are like complicated, like that you had to dig in. It wasn't obvious right away. The same card not being surcharged or not surcharged. And I often you hear of weird things you guys have helped partners with where like a random international card just won't be taken on a certain card, like certain type of terminal that won't take it at this, and there's such rare things you have to dig deep and it's a pain there. And that's why we're here. We're here to help the partner, help the merchant, and be able to solve those solutions and figure it out. And sometimes it's just, hey, they updated the bin table and that card now is classified as a debit card and was classified as a credit card for some reason. Mm-hmm. And in this day and age, I don't know if you guys pay attention to all the, like our partners, the amount of cards that are being issued, the debit rails are being pushed through, and there are a lot of companies, I'll use Chime because they're publicly traded and they're out there, that are using the credit and debit rails and kind of blurring. And so especially, and they're running on the Visa rails on Chime, but there's some doing it on the MasterCard. So there is that there's this blurry area that's happening between credit and debit right now, and we're here to help and try to solve it. And we won't always have the solution right away, but people like Jenny are here to help you figure out those solutions. All right, Mike, tell me a story.
One of our number one fans, Andrew Laka, says, "Hi, Jen." Just
so, Jen. Hi, Andrew.
Yes, there you go.
Gosh, that is a great story, Jenny. I ran into a similar thing too. That this might be a new bin that we didn't know about, so we need to do this, and this. I'm like, oh my gosh, who'd have thought it? But one that Nate was aware of and part of a couple weeks ago. One of our partners, Robert Stashak, was working with a merchant. This is a large merchant. It's like a lawn and garden shop, probably going to be his biggest account now. And he just kept kind of coming up against some friction. And finally, after dealing with the son for quite some time, he gets the mom one day and she says, your reviews are terrible. And he said, what? Here's what I do. I live around here. I have all these accounts in this area. I could give you some references. No. I looked up PayProTec, and lo and behold, as I think everybody that's on this call and is a guest can find those on any payment processing company. But it was really standing in the way of this for Robert. So you know what though? Robert called me. Robert emailed me and Nate. We gave some suggestions, and a lot of the credit really goes to Robert for being persistent and explaining exactly how a bad review can happen, and talk about 1099 salespeople and the fact that it's not easy for us to say to somebody, hey, don't do that again or we'll fire you. Yes, we can certainly cut off relationships and have in the past due to things like this, but it's not that easy as an employee when you say, hey, stop it or you're going to get fired and you lose your daily income. So anyway, just to say that he came to us and Nate has offered him some suggestions and I've offered some suggestions, and maybe you come up with your own processing company name now, and powered by PayProTec if you want to mention that. But anyway, through his persistence and explaining exactly what these bad reviews mean and helping them find others that were really good, he got the account the other day. The lady says, yeah, let's do it. I understand what you're saying now. So it's really exciting. It's approved. They'll start processing very soon. So that's a really fun story.
And at the end of the day is we're here to help try to figure out how to help you we don't make money unless you get merchants that are new in processing with us. And we do in the recruiting side of the world, and as people are discovering PayProTec, we get this question a lot of times: what does it cost to get started? Zero. We don't make any money off you. In fact, signing you up costs us money. Because we have to pay for the compliance checks and all the things that go through. And so literally a lot of times you paid for ads, and we're a couple $100 into you, and you haven't, and then we're investing time, and we're here to help. And just like with Robert, and help you overcome some of these obstacles. And hopefully, and what I love is Robert then now he's developed his own brand name. He went out and created his own website, used some of the tools we showed people to use, to using Manus to build a website, and did all kinds of things. And that's what we're here. We're here to come alongside and help and build those together. I think that's a really cool story. All right, we're gonna do three more stories, and then I'll throw one in here too. I'll wait. I'll get to wait to mine be last, because I have a couple of them to choose from. But I don't know these stories. I don't know what they chose here. So continuing our clockwork fashion here, Jenn Sales, what's another story you've been thinking about of how we've been able to walk along and help a partner?
So this helps multiple partners, and I'm sure everyone on this call has been there. The phone call of, hey, I've got this merchant, and they're using this 3500, but they want to expand, they want to get something bigger or something better. I love those calls. Now I don't know everything about every terminal or in every POS that we sell, but I'm going to find out for you, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get the right equipment in there for that merchant. And if it isn't, and if we go back and forth and we're showing them this picture and that picture, and, they're not, they just don't know what to do, and just constantly just working with them and giving them okay, let's try this terminal, or let's talk about this terminal. That has helped multiple partners having that conversation with you and just working through that. We're always going to help you keep that merchant on, help you find the right terminal, and just be a part of that decision, whether they're brand new or whether they want to change and they want to do something else. We're also here to help get the terminals fixed just right. So a lot of you use Deja Vu and Valor, and a lot of those changes happen when the merchant gets the terminal, and just all of that is not specific one agent that has been happy with that. Lots of agents that we have had that just love, and we get a lot of thanks so much. You helped me today. Thanks so much, teaching me about this terminal, and just a lot of praise on that side of it with multiple partners. And I love being a part of that in my daily job.
That's awesome. I love, Jenn, I love that. And it's that solution fitting and help that retention of merchant, because and the encouragement of our partners, hey, make sure that when you set up a merchant, and let's say you set them up with the Desk 3500, and then they identify a feature, or another salesperson comes in and they identify something else they want, make sure they know to call you, that you're not just a one-trick pony. This isn't the only thing you offer. And then you don't even have to know it. Just call us. We're going to help you. We're going to walk you along, whether it's Jenn, it will be in Jenny and Mike helping you, and then the POS pros, and then making sure it takes a village, and we've got a village to help you make sure those merchants are set up and going and doing the right spot. That's awesome, Jenn. My guess, how many, if you're going to guess on conversations, you have a lot of, but multiple, probably several a day of people wanting to trying to figure out the right solution, right fit, what actually can help this merchant?
Yes, it's a huge conversation. With e-commerce is getting larger, with gateways, huge conversation. With just full systems that need the gateway, need the inventory, need the system, multiple times a day. At least once a day is always a conversation about what kind of terminal, or what can we do to save this account terminal-wise, equipment-wise. And our team with the POS, and we work really well with the POS team, and it's just a great relationship to hurry up and get this solved. We want to save this merchant for you, not just for us, but for you, right? That's your merchant that you brought on board and has had a relationship with. So
that's awesome. All right. And I always appreciate that Andrew Locke is touching, and he, calls me out, and I appreciate that. And I will put it up there because, you got it when somebody says I need a bump and pay for helping him out. But I also know, Andrew, I owe you a text, and we'll hopefully get together tomorrow. Speaking of that, it's a way to make me feel guilty because I know I'm the one he's waiting for to respond on the next time for something he needs help with. So we'll put that up there. All right.
He's good. He's good.
He's good. He didn't even have to say it, but it reminded me that there's an unresponded to text text that I need to respond to. All right, Jenny Rickle, you are up next. What's your last story for today on Story Time with PayProTec?
Well, I just changed my mind because I love what Jen said. And so, something to piggyback off of that is all the times that we interact with our partners at all of our shows and all of our meetings and things like that. You really are part of the PayProTech family. We've had several partners that have met each other through our
Mhm.
events and our shows and just SEA, MWAA, where we're always present. We have several partners who have met and then created their own partnerships with each other. So we're here to help all of our partners thrive, right? And so, with that networking and the connection, it's not that you're just going to talk to PayProTech. You can talk to other people in the industry, get ideas, and maybe even work with another partner. So, what I love about PayProTech is we're here to help everybody, right? We want everybody to be successful. We want them to thrive. And you never know. Come to one of our events and you might meet somebody who's in the same industry, the same vertical, that could be your next business partner. So, we've had several relationships that have grown from just meeting at these shows and talking and just starting that conversation. So I think that that's really cool that when you're with us, you're part of our PayProTech family, like everybody is.
All right, I love that, Jenny. And I'm gonna actually, I just pulled it up. So we run ads on Meta on Facebook to our as we're looking, like I call it our discovery phase, as we're looking to discover new partners for PaperTech, and I'm trying to help them discover us. And one of the ads we run is currently in one of our videos talking about us being a family. And I haven't responded to this comment yet because we actually have yeah, it was 10 hours ago, just because I was so taken back because usually we try to respond pretty quickly. And I haven't responded, but I want to read this because I thought this was interesting. I'll put on, and it says this. So this was us talking about a family. It says, this, I won't call the person out, but if you find it, it's on Facebook. If you get push one of our ads, you may find this person. But the person says the family comment is a red flag. If it's a business, it's a business relationship. It should never feel like family. All companies care about is money. The family is to give an illusion. Total crap. And I wanted to say to this person, I'm going to put it in a comment,
Wow.
but I'm like, at the end of the day, look, I don't want to do business with you if that's your total view. I understand. Yes, most businesses are all about money, and certainly PayProTech is about growing money. We are working as hard as we possibly can to try to grow our business, but I believe better, or at least equal to anyone, truly care about our partners, truly care about their growth, and are in a business where if they don't grow, we don't grow. And so we're not looking to try to like absolutely nickel and dime to not do. And I understand people are like, it's a gimmick. And it really isn't. I've watched, I'll bring all the others' faces on the screen as Jenny, Mike, and Jen, and as Pamela and all of our other teams, work with our partners. The reason sometimes they get frustrated is because they really care about helping you grow. And sometimes that, it causes us frustration because you don't want the help or you don't want to listen to us sometimes. And we tell you the correct information. But at the end of the day, it really is. And it does set us apart. And I read that comment, and I'm going to respond to it later. But when you said that, Jenny, I was like, that just happened, last night. I was in bed when I read that comment, and I was like, I'm not going to respond right away because I wanted to be a little more snarky than I needed to. Need to let it sit a little bit. But I just felt how sad in our world that we're so pessimistic that we don't think we can mix business with a little bit of empathy and care and working together. And that's what I really hope and I believe that PayProTech is setting in our industry, that we care about the whole part of you. So love that, Jenny. That's awesome.
Okay.
All right, Mike, last story before I close up with our final one.
Yeah. This one's still going, and I think there's going to be a great ending to it. But one of our partners I've been training was in the car sales industry. He's been a general manager, a sales manager, a salesperson, all these things for 40 years. And so, the concept of when a customer walks into your dealership, you don't want to let them go. Everything gets done today. That's a big, big, big deal. And he's struggling with your first conversation in a merchant's business may not even include the owner. And now I have to come back. It's been really hard for him to change his mindset. So we've honestly spent a decent amount of time trying to talk about the difference and talk about the fact that when somebody comes into your car dealership, there's a pretty decent chance they're at least somewhat interested in buying a car. May not be right away, but they've come to you. When you show up in somebody's door, asking them if they want to do something that requires commitment on their part and work and change. It's not the same conversation. It's going to take more than that. So just working with him, and he's starting to feel more comfortable, starting to feel like, okay, I know what I need to do. I really want to have all the answers right now, right this minute, because if I come back, I'm going to lose them. I said, it's not the same though as you driving down the road and finding a different car to buy. You're talking to someone who may not even be interested in. It's a different feeling for them. So yes, we want to get urgency to you. We want to get your questions answered, but we know it can't always be immediate. But anyway, just helping him work through that process and learning a lot about automobile sales and those techniques, and some that will apply here as well. It's been a fun process for me too, but just helping him learn that and get out there, and he's been out at it, over a week now, and starting to feel better about it has been a fun journey.
Yeah. Love that. I think it's an important idea that sometimes we're here to fix a problem, and sometimes we can be a sounding board to help you address a problem and figure it out and kind of figure that out. We're here to help, not to sell. Thank you, Mike. Because
You're welcome anytime.
and we want to come alongside you and help you. And sometimes maybe you just need a little brainstorming to try to figure out how to overcome an obstacle in your way to get that close. And
Yes.
it's not one size fits all. Every one of our sales partners have different techniques, different skills, different personality, and we're learning as you're learning, but we're willing to walk alongside you to do that. And that's what we like to do. All right, I'm going to close with and I'm going to kind of group this story, because one of my favorite things that we've been able to do, and it kind of ties in, is help people develop their brand. And I always say your brand is more than just your logo. Your brand is your story, who you are, why you do things, what you're doing, telling the story of why you're developing a business, your marketing, how you tell your story. Maybe it's your website, slicks you leave, business cards, landing pages, all that, how you're telling your story,
Yes.
and then your reputation, what people say about you. And that together is the brand equation that creates brands. And we're helping our partners regularly create their own brands that they're proud of. And like, I'll use Andrew because you're watching here. He's working together to build his brand. Robert Stashek's watching right now. He just built his own website, and we're working alongside of you. Sometimes it's not as fast as, we have a limited amount of hours in a week and we're actually trying to put some self-guided tools together. Hopefully I'll have by the end of this year, just to kind of help you. But we walk through and we develop tailored payment solutions, and we develop true north payments, and we help you, think about how do you design a logo? How do you tell that story? How do you build the website? How do you write emails? And it's not a, perfect linear. It doesn't, go from A to B and you're going to get 100 deals, but it does help you set your business and build something that's going to grow for you and help you build a portfolio and a business, not just set up some accounts. And that really makes a change in your lives, because we really want to walk alongside you and help you grow in a way that actually creates generational wealth, not just being able to pay the water bill tomorrow. And that's our goal and what we want to do. So as we close out, Jenny Rickle, because you're going to be running 13 miles on Saturday, can you give us some closing thoughts, as we're excited to learn about how you enjoy the streets of Brooklyn? It's a totally different. I mean, you're usually running on a trail on a mountain, and you're going to be running on streets in a city that, I don't know what Brooklyn's population is, but let's say it's 3 million people. It's a little bit different than running up a hill or not a hill, a mountain, or running along a path for 100 miles. So I can't wait to hear the stories. But can you leave us some closing words as we close out this April 23rd office hours?
Yeah. I mean, it is what I'm going to do this next time. I know I run a lot of miles, but this is different. And so it does scare me a little bit. So what I want to say out to everybody out there is, don't be afraid to call us if you're not sure about a solution, if you're not sure about pricing, if you're just not sure about something, try. Like, we're here to help. You never know what can happen. You literally never know. So we here at PayProTec are here to support everybody on their journey as far as becoming a sales partner or whatever, right? We'll yap about pretty much everything. But specifically, we're here to help for the sales partners out there growing their business. And we love to have people part of our PayProTec family. So thanks everybody for your time today and watching.
Love it. On behalf of Jenn Sales, Jenn, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to continue to have you. Thank you for sharing some stories, and thank you for supporting our partners. It's so good to have you. And I love I guess I have one picture in my background. As you can what way is that? It's over there.
Yeah,
You can barely see it. That's a picture of my dad. And then I have pictures of my kids that are behind my shoulder that I can't, but I love you. Your background is like a collage of every picture. You got Cubs with Mike, The World with Jenny, and Jenn, your whole family. I love that. Thank you for joining us. You have a great background. Thank you. Jenny, can't wait to hear how the race goes tomorrow. And Mike, I can't wait to hear how you don't run the race. I can't wait to hear how the Cubs overtake and get we get a second sweep of the Phillies tonight. Let's just this afternoon. They play this afternoon, right? Yeah, so it's an afternoon game, I believe. So I can't wait for that. I'm excited. I complimented Jenn. I complimented Jenny, and I was like, you're great, Mike. I love you, dude. So.
Haircut recently. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you got a hair. I never noticed when you get a haircut, Mike. I guess if you would let it grow out a little more, I would notice. But
I'm trying to talk Crystal into that, and she just doesn't get it. I'm like, well, what other styles could I do?
Oh boy. Well, I think we could have AI give you some unique styles and just see what your hair might look like.
There
you go. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for those who are watching live. Thanks for those who are going to watch in the future. And remember that PayProTec is here to help you on your business journey, on your payments journey. And stories like today are not just unique. They're what is happening every day. I'm guessing there were our colleagues that were on the phone doing similar things while we were doing this live. And we can't wait to continue to help you whether you're new or been with PayProTec for a decade. See ya. See you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.